Have you ever thought about life and how it's just a giant scam, basically a pyramid scheme? And yeah, okay, that sounds a little crazy. I'm starting to sound like I'm buying into some conspiracy theories here, but no, this is for real, right? Because the people that are here before you, the generations before you, they make the rules. All of the laws that you abide by today were made by them. How many laws have you made? I haven't made any, but I'm abiding by a lot of laws. And so the next time you're mad about your parents having control over you or whatever like that, just realize that that's nothing in comparison to all of the dead people that have control over you that we are now enforcing. And I'm not saying that I want to get rid of the laws because that would be crazy, obviously. But it is a point that the law in general, it doesn't get less restrictive, right? They only add more laws. They only restrict you more until eventually all of civilization crumbles because everyone's protesting that we're so restricted. And like just in China with the whole COVID outbreak and everyone's freaking locked down in their houses. That's insane. That is like this, that's something from like the medieval times. I don't know. But yeah, so the laws aren't getting less restrictive. If you're born today, in one way you're really lucky because, look at the way the world is. Look at the technology that we have. In another way, you're probably the most unlucky person in the world. I mean, first off, it's a luck of the draw with the parents. Who knows what kind of parents you're going to get? They might be nice. They might be dumb. We don't know. And then you're going to have to go to school. Do you know why you have to go to school? Because, is there a good reason? You got to learn stuff. Do you have to really learn everything that you learn at school? Is it truly necessary? There are homeless people that graduated. Did school help them? Does school teach you anything about parenting? Does it teach you anything about taxes or finances? No, those are things you actually do in life. So school is basically something that you're going to do as a child. You don't have any choice in doing. You don't have any real choice in the things you're going to have to learn. They pretend that you do, but you don't. It's within the box, right? And, no matter what you say, poems aren't that valuable. Anybody can rhyme. And your thoughts are not that unique. So if you're not coming out of school with a skill, you're kind of getting screwed over. But you don't have a choice. If you don't go to school, the government is going to step in and do something about it. You don't get paid for going to school. But it's not child slavery, right? I kind of think it is because there's no choice. And again, I'm not saying that children shouldn't learn. I'm just questioning whether or not that's the best way for that to happen. And this video is getting a little bit out there. I'm sorry. But I was just thinking about this and we're going down a rabbit hole a little bit. And so, yeah, you got the luck of the draw of the parents. You are going to school. You don't really have a choice. Laws don't get less restrictive. I mean, you're really screwed. And even the money thing, man, like, look at the price of houses and, just living in general and how you're going to have to work for someone else because they have the money, because they were here first, right? Could you have made one of these big companies? Maybe. Were you here at the birth of the computer? No. No, you weren't. And even if you were, would you have had the right parents to guide you in the right direction? Man. Anyway, so with all that said, I think that you have to learn how to play the game because you're in a giant scam. You're in a pyramid scheme and you're either going to drag yourself to the top or you're going to fall to the bottom. I guess it's maybe the other way around. I don't know. You're trying to get, you want to be at the top of the food chain, basically. And how do you do that? And you read these self-help books, right? Oh my God, they tell you, find a mentor. Someone that isn't just a friend and they're going to tell you the truth. They're going to tell you the truth. Anybody can tell you the truth. Anybody can walk up to you and say, hey, the trees are green and the sky is blue. It doesn't mean anything. It's completely valueless unless you can find someone that is successful in a real way, not just earning a lot of money, but actually successful. Like they had a vision and they executed it. You got to find someone like that. Sweet. But then the question becomes, why would they teach you? Why would they spend their time on that? There's 100 of you. There's 100,000 people to every one person with a vision and good execution. Why are they going to spend their time on like teaching you all of the tricks? And they're like, it's not easy. It's not easy to teach someone that doesn't know. So it's not just, the mentor. It can't just be that, they earn money. It's got to be someone that knows what they're doing. They have a vision. They know how to execute. Then they know how to teach. They know how to meet you where you're at. Good luck with that. Probably not a thing. I think the biggest thing in this scam of life is the money game. Because every day, you're born into it thinking a dollar is a dollar or a pound is a pound or whatever, but it's not true. It's not true at all, because a dollar from 20 years ago isn't a dollar anymore. You can't. I remember when I was a kid, and whenever I say that, I'm like, oh shoot, I sound really old. But when I was a kid, I could take a pound coin, and I lived in England, obviously, and I could buy like an insane amount of candy. I'd get a drink, candy, all kinds of stuff for that. And it's not like that anymore. You can't do that now. Everything is sky high, and that's inflation. And people are right. Like, inflation has seriously screwed everybody over. And, the pay has not stuck with it. And I'm stuck between like both political sides here. Like, I agree with both. Like, on the left, I'm like, oh yeah, sure, we should be upping pay. Like, we need to pay people more because people are having a really hard time living. But on the right, I'm just like, stop setting all these damn laws. Stop making everything so restricted. Allow people to succeed if they want to. Both sides have points. But the point with the money game, though, is that, like, there's no one there to help you. Everything is there to screw you over. Like, banks, you get those banks on the radio. They're like, oh, we're going to, no overdraft fees. No, if you need to borrow $100 on us, so we can do that real quick. And they sort of try to market it, right? They have a marketing team. They have people that they pay to make you think things. They want you to think that they're there to help you. Why do you even need a bank? Why can't you just be paid in cash? Because of the convenience of it? I mean, you really don't. You certainly didn't need to use the bank. You didn't used to need a bank. Now life has become so dependent on it. But the banks are there to extract money from you over your lifetime in the most optimal way possible. If you're not good at paying money back, they're going to group you together with other people that aren't good at paying money back. They're going to use some variables to work out what the likeliness is of that group of people paying back. And they're going to set an interest rate, and they're going to lend money, and they're going to earn money. They're going to extract money from you. And that sounds like, they're extracting money from the poor. They do the same thing to the rich. Right? If you're good at paying money back, you're good at borrowing money and paying it back, they'll charge you less interest. But they're still lending you money. They're still extracting the money from you. When you buy a house for $250,000 and you get to the end of your mortgage and you've paid back $500,000, where did the other $250,000 go? To the bank. Someone is making money. The banks stand to make a lot. But it isn't just that. It's everything. Everything. You're being farmed. You are the crop. And you don't even know it. And that sounds like a conspiracy theory by itself. It's like, well, Facebook's stealing your data. Well, but it's true. Like, have you looked at TikTok and just scrolled through it? Do you just end up there? Does it keep sucking you back in? Have you ever played a video game and you can't put the controller down? Video game companies, when they're designing things, are literally sitting down. And it's like you have to have a psychology degree now. You're making games. How can we get people addicted? Because if we can get them addicted, we can siphon the money out of them. This whole game now has become, it's become a real battle. Now you're either going to have to wait and play the game and get rich, or you don't wait and you get poor. If you allow your desires to take over your life to the point in which you buy a house that you can't afford, that you buy cars and expensive things that you don't need, like borrowing money to buy a car that is like way out of your league kind of thing, is exactly the same as going to the grocery store every week and buying something stupid. It all adds up. It's all bad. If you enjoy it and you really want it, go for it. But like, you have to accept the fact that at some point you're screwing yourself over there. When you're buying something, you got to look at it and think, how much effort are they putting into making me think that I want this? I own so many things. So many things. And 99% of those things I've bought emotionally. I don't mean like I'm, sobbing my eyes out, pressing buy on Amazon. I mean, I've bought them because I think it's, there's something that it's going to satisfy on an emotional level. Maybe it's that I buy something because I think it's going to help with a project or whatever. But, that's the thing. And we have debt, so I shouldn't be buying anything because I should get rid of the debt. Because the only difference here with the whole debt thing is that I pay interest or someone pays me interest, right? So if I have $25,000 worth of debt and I'm paying interest on that, the only reason I really have that debt is because I bought stuff with that money, and the reason I bought it was because I wasn't willing to wait. If I had waited, I wouldn't have any debt. And if I had waited, I would have instead taken that money, invested it, and other people who are also screwing themselves over would have been giving me money. So it doesn't matter what you do. Ultimately, there's always someone getting scammed in life. And, they'll tell you that it's self-control. They'll blame the person that's doing it, but no one ever looks at the companies. No one ever looks at the banks and says, it's like a fly to a lamp. Like you're literally designing traps that take people and they keep them in this constant cycle. And then you turn around and you point at them. Don't borrow so much money. I don't know. Seems a little disingenuous. This was a rant. I had to make it its own video. But, yeah. That's it. That's all I have to say. There's other things I'm thinking, but it's getting to the point in which it's so discombobulated that I gotta end the video. So, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.